रंग की बौछार तू है नार नखरेदार मतवाली रे, आज मीठी लगे है तेरी गाली रे।
Happy morning. Well, that song was not just coincidence. They played that song with a very definitive purpose. Normally, the start of the session is not by me. The start of the session is by our coordinator, Joe. Those of you who have seen this song, how many of you have seen this song? My God, so many of you. I thought hardly 10% people would have seen this, which means we have quite a senior batch over here. What is the name of the movie? Wow, very impressive. So, in this song, the dancer sings with two different kinds of costumes at the same time, which means there was a small change every now and then in the song. So, we attempted to just do that. Since there is a change in the beginning of the program, they said symbolically, let's bring in a song which depicts that. And second most important reason for this song being played is, in the song, somewhere there are words like, palat ke dungi aaj tujhe gali re. And the coordinator was saying, this is what I experience and feel nowadays when I talk to people. बारिश है फिर भी टाइम के पहले पहुंचना है, ये पलट के दूंगी. On top of that, the session is on discipline. So you don't have an excuse. On top of that, you have to go inside the classroom and speak about discipline by being disciplined. We got a few phone calls from people who were saying that I'm feeling very guilty when I go inside the classroom. Because I'm realizing when I was their age, I was not disciplined. And I have started being disciplined after this session preparation has started. So I'm thinking, should I go inside the classroom and speak about discipline? And that too with so much confidence, as if I am living by that from the time I've been born. Good experience. Everything needs to have some kind of a beginning. And once there is a complete circle, who cares where the beginning was? As long as it is there, it is good enough for us. A few important things before we actually move into the subject of the session. The Fraternity of Life School does a very important and a beautiful work called organ donation. So we have created a kind of a missionary zeal for this work under the title of Rebirth. We believe that you die when you don't stay in anybody's heart, or you die when a part of you does not give somebody else life. Therefore, even after death, if you want to be alive, it's quite possible. And that can happen brilliantly through organ donation. So on 10th of August, Anna Bhau Sathe Auditorium near Parvati, we have a program from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. It's a beautiful program. And in case this concept called organ donation excites you, passes will be available outside when you leave. It's just for a token amount of 100 rupees. Please be there, watch what happens, and understand what it can do to people's lives. There are certain things whose value we understand when we go through it personally. And I believe organ donation is one such thing. God forbid, but one day, if I need somebody's organ, and at that point of time, if an organ is not available, and I understand it cannot be harvested on a farm, nor it can be manufactured in a factory, and that is when I realize how important this concept is. We truly believe that Pune should be that place in the country, if not the whole world, where nobody should die because an organ was not available. And even death should not just be a sorrowful experience, but it should become a meaningful experience for many people. So keeping that in mind, we are going ahead with this program called Rebirth. So those of you who are interested, and in case you want to bring your friends, family members, you can collect the passes at the end of the program. There are stalls all over the place. You can approach any table, get to know the knowledge that you want, information that you want. Now let's up the stakes inside the classroom. By now, 3 sessions are done. So you are very, very comfortable with people inside your classroom. Am I right? Now public speaking is not an issue. Now for many of you, even remembering the session is not an issue. Connectivity with children inside the classroom is not an issue. Most of the children inside the classroom. You still have a few people, some of you might be having few people who are still not in your control. How many of you are there who are still disturbed by a few people inside the classroom? Now this is called Purva Janma Karma. So be very happy. किसी तो जन्म के पाप कट रहे हैं. And in case somebody disturbs you inside the classroom, look at them and say, thank you so much. Thank you so much. They won't know why you're thanking them. But between the two of us, we know why it is good for us. What you will do is, if possible, go to the school before the next session, talk to the class teacher, and ask them the names of 10 children inside the classroom who are the bottom performers. So let's say you have a class of geniuses and the bottom performers are 65 percentile. Not an issue. Take the bottom 10. If you happen to be in a classroom where the highest marks are 45-50%, and we have schools like that, there the bottom 10 performers may be 16, 17, 18%. That is also okay. Take the bottom 10. Take their names. See if you can memorize those names. And in the 4th session, we are going to do something really beautiful and magical. For you, the rest of the class kind of does not exist. And these kids who for some reason are bottom performers, who are your focus? If I have a wealth of 100 crores out of which I earn 20 crores, I won't be news item. I won't be able to inspire anybody. It will be anticipated and expected. But if I have zero money and I earn 20 crores, I will be front page news. I will be invited as chief guest in multiple forums. I will be an inspiration and chapters will be written about books. Chapter will be written in books about me. Though in both the situations, the earning is 20 crores. But the beginning in both the cases was very different. When I want to inspire the children inside the classroom with each other, and if we want to create stories that inspires others, when we lift these people onto the top, it will be much more exciting for you than anything else in life. And the fact that these people could perform will make many other people believe that they can. And secretly between us, how much can you help the person who's scoring 94-95%? So even if you are extraordinary, how much impact can you make on their life? And somebody who's scoring 16-17%, how much impact can you make on their life? So now that we are comfortable in public speaking, memory, connectivity, let's shift our focus on people who desperately need our help. Everybody needs our help, but these people desperately need our help. You may not remember all the 10 names, so don't take that pressure. Even if you remember 5, 6, 7, now what are you going to do? Now, as you go inside the classroom and as you are speaking a story, let's say, for example, you are speaking about Michael Jordan. So, as you're speaking about Michael Jordan, the story will be like this. So, Prashant, when Michael Jordan was 11 years old, now like that the story will continue. So, Tahir Bhai, when Michael Jordan's father told him, go and sell this t-shirt for $2, not that Prashant and Tahir Bhai are naughty people, but this is how you take the session. A few things will happen. Because you are taking their names personally, they become a little alert. There was this person in US who used to stammer. You know who is a person who stammers? You know what is stammering? वो हकला के जो बोलते हैं ना. But there is this person who stammers. And yet he was one of the highest paid public speakers in US. One of those days when he was asked, how is it that you are so valued because you can't even speak properly? He said, see, people who speak very fluently, the audience goes to sleep. When I speak, people don't know when the next word will come. So they are very attentive. पता नहीं कब आएगा, पता नहीं कब आएगा, पता नहीं कब आएगा. This is called turning a disadvantage into advantage. When you can laugh at yourself, nobody in the world can hurt you. Similarly, when you call out somebody's name. So Vanshika, what happened when the $200 t-shirt was about to be sold? And now Vanshika knows Naren is looking at me. So even if he thinks about writing something down, 10 times temptation to be lick, बोले पता नहीं कब देख लेगा अपने को. Now I have captured the attention of these people. So these troublemongers or naughty children inside the classroom who are disturbing elements for you, who talk between each other or who do certain things which will distract others inside the classroom, you don't have to control them, you don't have to dominate, you don't have to shout, you don't have to be angry, you don't have to threaten, you don't have to say if you don't cooperate, I'll throw you out of the classroom, get out of the classroom. You don't have to insult, you don't have to disrespect. You just have to give them a little importance. You just have to give them a little attention. So when you say their names, they get attention. Now they know that your eyes are on them. And then you speak to them when you say their name with fondness, with love, with affection. The need in them to capture attention by disturbing the class slowly and steadily will become very weak. So often, these children who create disturbance have one quality which is in short supply in the world, and that is courage. Only a courageous person can disturb the class. If human beings had courage, 95% of issues that we face in humanity won't exist. Look into your life and I know you will say, if I had a little more courage, I would have done much bigger things in life and much faster also. We lack courage. As a result of which we live a life which is, let's say, 40% of what we are capable of. And these children have courage. If it can be molded properly, they will become people who can lift many more. So the way we look at these people and the way we see our responsibility in the lives of these people has to go through a little refinement. And that will happen by you understanding their names, involving them inside the classroom by nothing else but by just calling out their names. Let's see how the class proceeds after that. Which means now your duty inside the classroom is not just to go and deliver the session, but it is to get the involvement of these people. Now it is no more about I am going to ignore these people and I am going to focus on the others. In fact, it's a little turned around and I'm going to give them a little attention. Involve a few more others also, involve the champions also, but involve these people compulsorily. You think it can be done? Yes. It will be a sweet challenge. You have nothing to lose, but there is so much to gain. By the way, how many of you get angry? Okay. Let me rephrase the question. 4 options. Option number 1, never angry. What is anger? You don't even know what is anger. You are Buddha reborn. Option number 2, rarely angry. Rarely angry, let's say once a week. Then generally angry, few times a day. Always angry. You don't know how to smile. Do you know what is constipation? Achha, how many of you don't know the meaning of the word constipation? Honestly, raise your hands. It's okay if you don't know. Some people are raising hands like this. Baba, achha, like last time, 100% honestly, how many of you don't know? All of you know the meaning of the word constipation. This is not only a senior citizen class, but also a well-read class. Those of you who are a little shy to admit that you don't know the meaning, here is the meaning. Constipation means, irrespective of how much you try, it does not come. Imagine you went in somebody's wedding and you overate. And it was a 3-day wedding, and in 3 days you overate like never before in your life. You have come back home and then you go. You go, but it does not come. You know it is coming, but it is not coming. You understand the scene? All the effort, but the insignificant results. It's like khoda pahad, chuya bhi nahi nikli. In that situation, how is your face? Always angry, same face. Don't look at your neighbor. And don't do this to your husband or to your wife, talking about you. So how many of you belong to this always angry, constipated face? Nobody is putting up their hands. Fair enough. Generally angry, few times every day. Okay. Rarely angry, once a week. Sahi hai. Buddhas, never angry. In the classroom, you will explain never angry with the example of constipation. You don't have to practice the event to take the class. But you should understand the meaning and how to talk. Achha, how many of you over here genuinely care for somebody? Some of you don't care for anybody. I know what somebody is thinking. अरे बाजू वाला हाथ उठा रहा है, छोड़ना है, था इतना ऊपर का एक बार बता. Who is the person who gets maximum angry with you? So does it happen that the person who cares about you the most gets angry at you the most? How many of you believe in this? Interesting. Why we did this, I'll explain to you in a few minutes. But open your notebooks or your notepads. We'll do a very interesting exercise. And needless to add, keep your pens ready. Now, some of you know the game of the quadrants that we play. So you need to create a quadrant. What does the quadrant mean? Divide the page into 4 equal parts. Which means draw one line vertically, draw one line horizontally, so that we have 4 quadrants. Can you do that, please? Now, these quadrants are, let's say, representing 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock on the face of a clock. Am I right? Is that what you've done? 12 o'clock, write mastery. M-A-S-T-E-R-Y, mastery. Mastery plus. 6 o'clock, mastery minus. 3 o'clock, relationships plus. And 9 o'clock, some of you are good students, smart people. Now let's discuss about these 4 quadrants and I'll explain its significance to our life. These are the 2 axes on which we live our life. We are good in something, we are proficient in something, we can produce fantastic results in something, we call ourselves as the masters in that arena. The better we are, the more progress we get in life. The other axis is relationships. The better you are in relationships, the easier it is for you to network. Which means the easier it is for the world to help you. The better you are in relationships, the easier it is for you to create your own team. So there are 2 teams which every human being has in their life. One, the team which exists in their life on a daily basis. Family, workplace. And the other, team which is available whenever I need them. External team which is called a network. So I am right now in this place, but there is a tower in which network is available in PCMC. When I go there and I need that, that network starts working for me. Similarly, as we live our life, when we want to do much more than what we are doing right now, it is not just about my mastery or your mastery in your area, because that takes you up in just one vertical. One vertical is linear. There is no expanse, there is no width. When I excel in relationships also, then the results that I produce in life is mind-blowing. So all the people in the world can be divided into these 4 quadrants. Quadrant 12 to 3 is when they are experts in something, they are very good in something, and they also have brilliant results, and they also have brilliant relationships. Imagine somebody having fantastic proficiency, I am really good in my work, and I can build relationships like this. It is not just 10 plus 10 is equal to 20, it is 10 into 10 is equal to 100. My efforts are the same, but ultimately my achievements are huge. What is 3 to 6? What are the 2 qualities in 3 to 6? Relationships is plus. Mastery is, which means I don't have an expertise, but I'm good with people. We think it is a great thing, but this is the situation where you are taken for granted by the world. If any one of you over here thinks that people take you for granted, when somebody has a need, they call you, and when you have a need, nobody exists next to you. You have put efforts in building a relationship, but you have not created proficiency or mastery in any aspect of life. So people will take you for granted. The other day, Siddharth Gandhi was talking about a very dear friend of his. And he was saying, कोई भी काम है ना, कोई भी सोशल वर्क है ना, ये मेरा दोस्त भाग के आता है, सब काम छोड़ छाड़ के आता है. उसके खुद के लाइफ में ना कोई भी चीज में फोकस करके अपने आप को डेवलप नहीं कर पाया. So personal life mastery is insignificant. Relationships are beautiful. You will be able to help a lot of people, but in your own life, you will be very, very dissatisfied. You will get love, but you will never get respect. If you know what I mean. A lot of people will love you, but not many people will respect you. And in 16 years of training, this is what I realized. The need for respect is much greater than the need for love. Let's move to 6 to 9. What is 6 to 9? Relationships minus, mastery minus. You're good for nothing. You don't even exist. People care a damn. You are completely ignored. You invite, nobody comes, and nobody invites you. You can be jealous, you can cry, you can say world is bad. But that's because relationships minus and mastery minus. And what is the fourth one? 9 to 12? Two qualities. Mastery, relationships. These people will have success, but they are always alone. They don't have genuine people around them. They push people away. They're rough. They hurt people. Probably too aggressive, too demanding, selfish. You can be very successful, but nobody to celebrate it with. All alone. Honestly speaking, where do you find yourself? Quadrant 1, 12 to 3. Quadrant 2, 3 to 6. Quadrant 3, 6 to 9. Quadrant 4, 9 to 12. Life in its best is available in 12 to 3. When you are focused when it comes to your life, and you are selfless when it comes to others' life. Extraordinary combination. You know how to relate to people. You know how to get the best out of people. You are not scared. You are very confident in relationships. Our intention is to take all the children into 12 to 3. There are some who are today in 6 to 9. And by giving them a little attention, by giving them a little warmth, by giving them the inputs of Keep Moving Movement 16, we are attempting to bring them from minus mastery to plus mastery. Those of them who are in 3 to 6, again by the inputs from first 3 sessions, we are attempting to bring them in plus mastery. In fact, session number 1, 2, and 3 are only about mastery. Session number 1, I am a genius, believe in yourself. Only then you can want to master. Session number 2, communicate. Unless you communicate what you want, you can't take help, you can't develop yourself. Again, a step in mastery. Session number 3, discipline. Again, another step in mastery. Session number 4 is about relationships. While session number 1, 2, and 3 was about mastery, session 4 will be about relationships. How do I develop relationships? In this session, we are going to give a very simple 2-point formula on how to develop relationships. And I urge all of you to practice these two in your life. Let's take up negative emotions first. Are all of you listening?
Yes.
Unless you have the ability to handle negative emotions, you cannot build relationships. If you are a person who wants only positivity in your life and positivity from people in your life, your need is understandable, but people like that don't exist. But I just asked you, is there anybody who doesn't get angry at all and not a single hand went up? And when we asked regularly angry, more or less multiple times every day, most people's hand went up. What does it mean? The way I am is the way the world is. I love my wife, and I understand now and then she gets angry. Sometimes it can be for valid reasons, and sometimes it can be for reasons that are not valid. But anger met with anger is dangerous. It deepens the wounds instead of healing the wounds. There is a concept that we follow which is called ICU. What does it mean by ICU? I'm not speaking about the hospital's ICU, where nobody sees you. I'm speaking about life's ICU. ISEECYOUU. What do I mean by this? This is a brilliant concept, an extraordinary concept. We won't have time to go into details. But if you have seen that movie called Avatar, how many of you have seen Avatar? If you have not seen, please go and see that movie. Extraordinary movie. In that movie, the girl who's the heroine takes Jake, the hero, to the tree of life. And there, she tells him, I see you. Now, I see you is not the physical eyes which is seeing through the physical eyes somebody else. I see you means I understand you. I see you means I understand what you are going through. In April, we wrote an LSM, Life School Message. And you're going to read this message out inside the classroom. Everybody will take a printout, we'll give you the bit.ly link to that. And it will explain a little about what I am saying. The title of this LSM was Dada Vaswani's Question and the Old Man. So in a single LSM, there are 2 episodes. The martial art expert Terry Dobson was traveling on the Tokyo subway. A drunk boarded the train and started insulting the passengers. With the ego of a martial art expert, Terry challenged the drunk. Don't disturb. I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to beat you up. The ego that I am an expert and how dare somebody misbehave. I should protect everybody. The drunk asked, "What the hell do you want?" I said, "Why are you interfering in my life? Take care of your business." Terry got ready to fight him and subdue him and save the fellow passengers from disrespect. A heroic act, right? An old man sitting 2 rows behind shouted, "Hi." The drunk turned towards the old man and threateningly remarked, "I will first beat the foreigner and then I will beat you up." When you are drunk, you can threaten anyway. The old man said, "I like to drink too. Every evening, I sit with my wife and we drink sake. Are you married?" The drunk looked confused. He dropped his aggressive demeanor and in a low voice replied, "I have no wife. I have no family. I am alone." The old man asked the drunk to sit next to him. By the time Terry Dobson got off the train, the drunk was completely in tears. So was Terry. When I read this story for the first time in my life, I was very deeply moved. I realized all some people need is a genuine friend. This is I See You. Terry saw a drunk man threatening and disturbing the passengers. The old man saw somebody who is bitterly alone and just needs a friend. When I have the capacity to practice ICU, I can see beyond the behavior of people and I can understand what they need and what role can I play to satisfy their needs. If I was in Terry's place in the train, it amuses me to ask myself this question. If I was a martial arts expert and sitting in the train, what I would have done? Taken the same approach and threatened to beat that person up, teach them a lesson, dominate them, control them, say देखो उसका जगह दिखाया उसको, and negative emotions multiply, 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 multiply. This world does not become a better place to live in. Forget about the world. My family, my relationships don't become better, it only becomes bitter. Do I see or am I blind? Not to the surface and to the behavior. but something deeper than that. I'm reminded of Dada Vaswani's words. Did you see him on the road? Did you leave him with the load? Did you see him on the road? Did you leave him with the load? Which means when you are at your best, I am there for you. When you are at your worst, to hell with you. Then how will I have relationships? Right now I am wondering, do I have the heart and the presence of mind of the old man on the train? And what will be required to develop myself as a person like that? I'm wondering, will I answer a resounding yes to Dada Vaswani's words? I'm sure the old man on the train would. Any person who behaves negatively, anger, jealousy, irritation, frustration, the law is they carry pain in their heart. You open a garbage bin, stink comes. Not because of the bin, but because of what it carries inside. Now the garbage bin cannot and does not choose the content. But as human beings, you and me can choose our contents. As human beings, when we meet people who are carrying the garbage, emotional garbage, pain, we can choose to help them to empty the garbage from the bin. When I assume that role in the life of people whom I care for, let's be the kind of a person like the old man after some time. But first, can I be this person in the life of people whom I care? So it's easy for children to say, the person who's angry at me the most is my mother. Now either I can look at that anger and fight, look at that anger and rebel, look at the anger and disturb. Or if I'm a good child, I can understand the pain that my mother must be carrying in her heart and do something about that. Because how much does my mother do for me? And how much do I do for her? So is the case with people who love you and care for you. Marilyn Monroe used to say this. If you can't take my worst, you have no right over my best. Relationships are built when I can look at people and say, I see you. I understand what you're carrying. And I'll play my bit. At least I'll take off a little. I may not be able to take your entire load, but thoda. Sometimes by attention, sometimes by appreciation, sometimes by just helping them to vent it. Now that is what creates relationships. Once I do it with people whom I genuinely care for, then slowly it becomes a part of my character. And I become the old man on the subway train who can see the load somebody is carrying and say, come, sit, I'm listening. And through the golden touch, transform that life. I don't know what history says, but I'm confident that drunk wouldn't behave like this for the rest of his life. Somebody practiced, I see you. Zig Ziglar writes in his book, when I'm traveling on the road and when a motorist who is driving like a maniac overtakes me, sometimes from the wrong side, drives very roughly, you know what I do? I wish them all the best. If somebody overtakes you roughly, what do? Hey! And then press the accelerator. इसको तो मैं छोड़ेगा नहीं. Overtake करके, then you will give them one glare. Did you do that? I say, how dare you overtake me? And if somebody is honking from behind, can you relax if somebody is honking behind? Hey, kya re? Arey, he's purchased that car with the horn. वसूल कर रहा है. What you can do is you can ask him to rhythm में बजाना, rhythm में. Offbeat मत बजा, rhythm में बजा. Call Dr. Ashish, give the numbers, he will tell the details. Look at the things which makes us angry. You ring the doorbell, people don't open within 5 seconds. And what happens now to your emotions? Forget about that. If somebody is parking in your parking place, what happens to you? Watchman! A watchman cares a damn. There are 150 parking there. How does he remember which car belongs to whom? अब वॉचमैन को ना नौकरी से निकाल देना चाहिए. हाँ, बरोबर है. करेक्ट. Look at the things for which we get angry. Right now, monsoon is there. Perfect time for anger. You can blame everybody, including Narendra Modi. तेरा घर साफ नहीं रहता है. उधर आएगा ना, इधर गंदगी दिखेगा, इधर गंदगी दिखेगा. Some places, some corners of the house, we dump it. जो भी है, अच्छा उधर डाल दो. And Narendra Modi is responsible for Swachh Bharat. You can't keep your home clean. And you make him responsible for everything. तुम्हारे घर के नीचे कचरा है. नरेंद्र मोदी को ना पीएम बना के गलत किया. Unreasonable expectations. And anger. No, I am not for Narendra Modi or against Narendra Modi. I am only for this name called Narendra. That name means something nice. Part 1 of relationship building, I see you. Not an issue. That's all. Do that in your office meetings when the phone goes off. I see you. What, sir? बाद में बताएगा. I know some businessmen over here are thinking, यार वो आदमी पेमेंट नहीं दे रहा है, ICU किया तो? You come to me for personal counseling, I'll discuss. Here we are talking about relationships where I care, whether genuine. Build those relationships. And step number 2 is what we call as the darling machine. What do we call it? I know I have some of my friends who can't say the word darling. Machine. You know, sometimes when I tell people I love you, yes, yes, yes. When somebody says bye, you say bye. When somebody says hello, you say hello. When somebody says love you, what are you supposed to say? वो थोड़ा गुदगुदी होता है Come on. You're not saying I hate you and I'm going to hate you for the rest of my life. You're saying I love you. You can say I love my country, you can say I love your parents, you can love your life partner, love your children. Why can't you say love you to me? It's so easy. And practice makes a person perfect. If you practice it with me in the right place, it will come out the right way. Otherwise, you will miss some opportunities. So we have something called the dialing machine. What machine? Now it's coming properly. Last time some of them. What is dialing machine? All of you have a kerchief? Dupatta? Dupatta? Your neighbor has a dupatta? What are you going to do? Anything is okay. You will cover your head. Okay? Anyway, you can cover it straight away, how you would go to Gurudwara or how you go inside the mosque. All of you cover your head. If you don't have anything, then the book. Neighbors dupatta, it's time to find out. You can look at them and say, Bhai, mere paas kuch nahi hai, see me. And take their dupatta. Le. See, that's the advantage of dupatta. It's a replacement for a tent. This kerchief is useless, only one head. Where is she going? Now, what you have on your head is a machine which is patented by Life School, and I am giving it to you royalty free. This machine that you have on your head right now is called the dialing machine. What is its purpose? Anything the world says in a negative tone, anything that the world communicates with negative emotions, this machine stops you from hearing that and converts everything into just two possible situations. Situation number one, whatever they are saying, in any tone they are saying, the machine helps you to listen to it with these words, I love you, hence. So let's say, for example, the mother is shouting at the child, you do nothing on time. Now, how will the child listen? I love you, hence, complete the sentence. Hence, complete your work on time. Hence, if you complete it on time, you will be able to go to play. Hence, you will be able to score marks and you will be proud of yourself. But this machine changes the tone and makes the sentence begin with, I love you, hence. Second, this machine translates everything into, I need your help. Only two possibilities. Whatever somebody says, you listen to it as, I love you, or I need your help. And you can build relationships with people. Let's say there is somebody who does not trust you. And they say, I don't know whether I can do this with you or not. They are not defining you, they are not judging you. What they are doing is, they are saying, I need your help. Let's say a friend of mine speaks bad about me. When I listen to it, what I understand is he's saying, I need your help. It can be something as simple as, I have low self-esteem. Hence, I am jealous of you. Hence, for me to preserve the small and a few relationships I have with me in my life, I have to prove that you are worse and you are bad. Otherwise, I will be all alone and nobody will want me in life. I see you, and I understand what you're saying is, I need your help. So even the person who speaks bad about me, when I speak good about them, especially in public, especially in their presence, saying misunderstandings happens all the time. I mean, between husband and wife, so many misunderstandings, father and son, so many misunderstandings. Between friends also, if misunderstanding happens, it's quite natural. As long as we can express what we feel, we know what is the gap that is existing, and then I can make a bridge. So if you think I'm wrong, I'm glad you pointed it out. Now let's discuss how to make things better. Because you heard that other person asking you, I need your help, will you help me? Then when somebody speaks bad about me, it's not about me taking revenge, or it's not about me breaking that relationship. It's not about me creating a distance, and it is not about me speaking worse about them when I come to know what they spoke about me. Just do these two things and see how your relationships improve. You can take up the machine. Send me the royalty later on. But practice this in your life. In the classroom, you will play this dialing machine. There will be a lot of laughter. There will be a lot of excitement. You know, the benefit of laughter is everybody comes in the present. I can be absent-mindedly sad, I can be absent-mindedly depressed, but I cannot be absent-mindedly happy. Happiness means I am in the moment. Now, when they are present, when they are in the moment, you can take them to depths of understanding. So first it will be I see you. Second option is the dialing machine. Then you will make all of them do a small exercise, which all of you will do right now. Take a fresh sheet of paper. Or take the other side of the paper that you already have. Write down names of 5 people whom you care about. In the classroom, you can get it done for 3 people. Give them 5, tell them minimum 3, maximum 5. Over here, maximum 5 because all of us are adults. 5 people for whom you care. Parents, spouse, children, siblings, a good friend, a very solid employee of yours. 5 people. And now you'll do 2 things. One, what is the little load that you think they are carrying? Just think. What can be an issue that they have? And 2, in case you're holding the mildest of grudges against them, can you forgive them by wearing the dialing machine? ICU and the dialing machine helps you to forgive instantaneously. Can you identify where you can help people who you care about? Where do they need your help? What is the load that they are carrying in their mind, in their heart? On night, take a fresh sheet of paper. Take a fresh sheet of paper. There is something that we have which is called as anchors. What is an anchor? A statement that guides me is called an anchor. Whatever happens, I refer to that statement as my anchor. For example, the statement that is my anchor. I have a few anchors, but one of the anchor is inspire or expire. As long as you live that kind of a life where it can lift a few more. If you can't inspire people anymore, it's time for you to expire. दवाई में था ना expiry date. मेरे लाइफ में इंस्पायरी डेट है. So whatever happens, any situation, I ask myself, inspire or expire. How do I deal with the situation by which I can inspire others? How do I grab this opportunity by which I can inspire others? How do I think about the future by which I can inspire others? How do I train so that it can inspire others? How do I parent so that it can inspire? For everything, my guiding factor is, will this be a brilliant example for people? If yes, you are on the right track. If no, then something needs to be examined. Can you write one anchor statement of your life? That which will guide you. Mother Teresa's guiding words were, trust God. Whatever happened in her life, she would be guided by trust God. मतलब फालतू का दिमाग नहीं लगाने का, गलत हुआ सही हुआ, this should not have happened. No, that means trust is not there. Trust God. What is your anchor which will help you to deal with every situation of life? Written? Some of you still thinking? Now don't look at your neighbor's book here. Oh, you मेरे से better है. Yours is yours. And below that, please autograph. Autograph किया? Now tear that page. Last 3 rows, do I have a life schooler who's sitting over here in the edge? Okay, is that Priyanka? Priyanka, collect the pages from those 3 rows. Like that, do I have volunteers who can collect these papers? Your anchor statement with your autograph. And I'll tell you why we are doing this. Some of you please collect it. Now I want it on a paper with your autograph, not on the phone. And I'll tell you very soon what is the purpose. You don't have a paper? Just that, where you have written anchor statement and your autograph, just tear that and give. Don't tear the earlier pages, huh? Don't tear that mastery and relationships quadrant. Collect it, brilliant. Saket, keep it with you. I will take it from you. Rahul, keep it with you, I'll take it from you. Home, keep it with you, I'll take it from you. Harsha, give it to home. Prakash, you can give it to home. Now I'll tell you what you're going to do inside the classroom. Those of you who want, you can take beautiful sheets of paper, proper different colors if you want, fluorescent ones. Those of you want, take a notebook and tear the pages from the notebook for each. Those of you want to be creative in different ways, let's say you take a post-it pad and you pass it around and ask everybody to write it so that you can have another chart paper where you post it like that. I leave it to you. But do this inside the classroom and tell them, what I have done is, I believe each one of you will do something very significant in life in the future. And I've just collected your autograph. When you become famous, your autograph will sell in millions. I have created my retirement plan. In the future, when you are being interviewed on national television, or when your photograph with your interview is there on a national daily, on a newspaper, I will show everybody your autograph and say, you know what? We met for some time and I know this person. Irrespective of where you are today, whether you are a 16% or a 95%, I believe with this quadrant of mastery plus and relationship plus, each one of you will create history. Give them the homework of practicing ICU and having an imaginary darling machine on their head all the time. Let them not do this. Somebody shouting at them, "Ek minute ruk, machine lagane de." From now onwards, we are having that machine on all the time. Chances are, as you go out, somebody has parked their vehicle next to yours where you cannot take your vehicle out. What will you do now? Smile. When that person comes, smile at them and say, "Kaam ho gaya? If you want some time, go and come and wait." I'm so sorry, like that they might do. If possible, next time don't do it, because somebody might need it for an emergency. Anyway, walking is good for health. But you say it with a lot of composure, with a lot of smile, with a lot of love. You might be that old man in the train. Inspire everybody inside their classroom to do this for 2 weeks. And I'm telling you, this has the power to completely change the lives of people. This has the power to completely transform the atmosphere inside a family. This has the power to completely electrify the place where people sit together and work. Because if you have the power to take negativity out from an atmosphere, you are a very, very powerful person. The earth is a very heavy thing, do you know? They call it about 6 sextrillion tons, which means about 6,000 followed by 16 zeros. Don't make this world heavier by creating a heavy heart. If possible, make this world better by having a lighter heart and a smiling face. All of you have this homework now. Practice ICU with people you care about. Then practice dialing machine with people whose path crosses your path. And when you come back for session number 5, let's see what is it that we have for that session. This session, I believe, will really make this world a beautiful place to live in.